Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all enjoying your weekend. Pips of Persia here, coming to you with another weekly market outlook video, preparing you for the trading week of 20th of May 2019 to 26th of May 2019. As usual, before we get started, disclaimers. These setups are purely for educational purposes and by no means require any action. Your capital is at risk, therefore never risk more than what you are willing to lose. Past profits do not guarantee future results. Again, goes without saying, please make sure to take notes, make sure to screenshot the setups that you agree with, and if you do disagree with any setups, please stick to your own analysis. There's no need to outrule your own analysis because my analysis goes against it. The best way for you to learn is to stick to your own analysis. Let's start with having a look at the economical calendar for the coming week. So on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, the parliamentary elections for Australian dollar has kind of started. So I do kind of expect the market to open with some gaps for Australian dollar, but we will keep an eye on it. If the gaps are too big that it goes against the analysis in any way, again, goes without saying, I'll be updating the Telegram channel link in the description, so make sure to join that Telegram channel as well. There's quite a few kind of high impact news. Not only that, there's quite a few speeches and meetings, hearings, a lot of meetings and speeches going on. So definitely something that I'll be keeping an eye on for this week. The speeches more than kind of anything else. It's just a matter for you to be very careful trading this week because it's kind of spread out throughout the entire week, the high impact news that we have. So there will most likely be some spikes throughout a lot of different currency pairs. Some of these spikes might be going in our direction. The other ones might kind of act like a stop hunt. So just keep an eye on Forex Factory for the coming week as well. Actually, let me get started with some of the weighted indices that I have been keeping an eye on, such as Japanese yen, where I put this on my Tradingview channel. Japanese yen, this is on a daily time frame. The harmonic formation that we have here is still very, very valid. This does indicate a very nice reversal. If you remember, I said we could drop when the harmonic pattern was around there. So when the market closed over there last week, I said the drop could start then. If not, we can get another move up to the marked zone over there. And then potentially the drop can continue. On a daily time frame, we have started to get a lot of long wick rejections to the upside. The harmonic pattern is still valid. So provided the US and China trade wars do not escalate, I do see Japanese yen to lose strength. If the trade wars escalate in any way, Japanese yen will be invested to as a safe haven and will go higher. But provided they don't escalate and they start to calm down a little bit, then you can expect a bearish Japanese yen across the entire board. Australian dollar as well. It has kind of broke below where I expected the reversal to take place, which was around this zone over here. So we've broken a little bit below that, but the zone that we are kind of approaching right now is a very, very clear reversal zone. Okay, so I do believe that the markets can show us a very, very nice reversal around this demand zone over here for Australian dollar to look to go very bullish across the board after that. New Zealand dollar as well. It's interesting that Australian dollar has actually been breaking lower, going lower. However, New Zealand dollar weighted index has not really been breaking the previous low that it has had. Setup still stands. You do have the fib level. You do have the, if I'm not mistaken, it was daily or 4-hour convergence on our MACD for New Zealand dollar weighted index. 4-hour, 8-hour divergence, around those time frames. So the convergence is still valid. We do still have the inverted head and shoulder formation. We do have the fib level. We do have this reversal zone over here. And it's interesting because Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, majority of the time, they go the same way. But we did see a very, very bearish Australian dollar last week. However, New Zealand dollar didn't really follow. So I do believe that New Zealand dollar has actually tapped off the demand zone a little bit earlier than Australian dollar. But I do believe both currencies can be looking to go very bullish this week or next week. That's practically the major weighted indices that I have analysed. But let's go ahead and look at some of the currency pairs. Australian dollar versus the Swiss franc. Same sort of idea applies for Australian dollar versus Swiss franc compared with Australian dollar weighted index. We are approaching kind of this general demand zone over here. Okay, we are approaching this general demand zone over here where some very, very major reversals have taken place, over 800 pip, over 1,000 pip kind of reversals around, well, yeah, over 800 pip reversals have taken place around kind of this reversal zone, 500 pips over here, nearly 400 pips over here, and over 800 pips at these two kind of reversal zones over there as well. So I do expect to see a very nice reversal at that zone for Australian dollar versus Swiss franc. It does kind of line up with a very round number, 0.688. But do not be putting any sort of buy limit orders for that zone. Monitor the market when it reaches that zone, okay? What I would really like to see is a lot of candlestick confirmations around that zone on a 4-hour, 8-hour time frame. And the market to completely show us signs that it's slowing down, it's ready to reverse. But this could be a very, very nice buy opportunity for Australian dollar versus Swiss franc. We can actually ride it all the way up to 0.71, which would be a very nice 220 pip move to the upside. Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Again, same sort of idea. On a weekly time frame, we are approaching this demand zone over here. And bear in mind, I'm naming these demand zones rather than just kind of any random reversal zone, because we're looking at a very high time frame weekly, and the reversals that we have in mind are very, very large reversals that have taken place in the market. Okay, so we are approaching this general demand zone over here on a weekly time frame. On a 4-hour time frame, the major kind of thing that I saw for AUDCAD is this sort of general wave pattern that we have over here, where that's the first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave to be completed around the double bottom zone over there. Okay, the completion of the fifth wave to be around the same as the third wave, and for us to kind of be waiting for an ABC correction. In this case, we can either enter the potential buy positions at the marked weekly zone, provided we get price action. If not, you can wait for that completion of the first wave to the upside, that A wave. Okay, wait for the exhaustion, and then ride the B to C wave up, back up to this, to the high of the fourth wave of the previous wave pattern. I do really kind of like this setup. I do believe that this could be a very, very nice sort of reversal for AUDCAD. Provided I get price action, I will be executing this setup. Australian dollar versus US dollar. Australian dollar pairs are quite similar right now, all reaching kind of very key demand zones in the market. Same with AUDUSD as well. A lot of reversals around this weekly zone that I have marked up over there, over here. Over here as well, again approaching kind of the same zone over there. So again, same story, let it reach that zone, let it drop a little bit further, wait for price action to show itself, and then go ahead and execute some buy positions for AUDUSD as well. Canadian dollar versus the Japanese yen. So assuming Japanese yen is going to go bullish in the next week or so, that would mean that CAD-JPY, or in general Japanese yen to go bearish in the next couple of weeks. That would mean that XXX-JPY would look to go bullish. Okay, again, demand zone for CAD-JPY over here, very major reversal zone. Wait for it to tap off that zone. Wait for one final push to the downside before the buy positions look to kind of coming for CAD-JPY as well. Very promising setup based on the reversal zone on a weekly time frame. Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen is a similar story as well, where on a weekly time frame we kind of tapped off this this general reversal zone, where you can see that in the past we reacted to that zone around that point. Okay, then the next reaction was around there, next reaction around there. Okay, now we finally on a weekly time frame, last week we rejected that zone and closed with a very long wick to the downside. Okay, nice hammer formation over there. Sorry, this was not last week, this was a week before that. So CHFJPY is kind of the same story. And there's kind of 3 different scenarios I'm waiting for on a 4-hour time frame for CHFJPY. I've got this kind of consolidation zone marked out over here that the market seems to be bouncing up and down in that zone. So number 1, you can wait for a break and retest above this zone to take buy positions. Number two, you can wait for the low of this zone, okay? Potentially the market can react to the low of this zone, then go bullish after that. The final scenario is this sort of consolidation pattern to fake a lot of people out. Give us one final push back down to the key fib level, 61 to 71%, and then make its way to the upside. I'm not going to be chasing this setup. I'm not going to be entering for no reason. I'm just going to be waiting for it to let me know when it's ready to give us the bullish move. Euro versus Japanese yen. I do believe Euro versus Japanese yen can look to go up a little bit more than kind of it has. These spikes that we have had over here is not kind of enough to satisfy this convergence that we have had. On a 4-hour time frame, this convergence is still valid. We have got a morning star formation over there. On a daily time frame, EURJPY has got a lot of wick rejections to the downside. So I do believe that EURJPY can look to make its way up as well. The way I'm going to be trading this is most likely Tuesday night to Wednesday London session. I'm going to be keeping an eye on EURJPY for a potential reversal to the upside. Do bear in mind that we do have some big news for Euro on Thursday as well. Euro versus the Swiss franc. Very kind of interesting setup. We do have this trend line over here that we have had 2 taps in the past, so one rejection of the trend line, second rejection, then we broke above it, and it looks as though we came back to retest Euro CHF, retest the trend line on Euro CHF, and that has lined up with this Fibonacci over here. So I do believe this can make its way up. However, I haven't got any sort of clear convergence for me to be able to take some entries based on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a spike to the downside as a stop hunt and then the move to the upside completes itself. Again, wait for the setup to kind of come to you, but I do quite like this setup. Euro versus the Canadian dollar. On a daily time frame, we still do have this head and shoulder formation with the blue line over here being the neckline of the head and shoulder formation. Okay, that is still valid over there. And in general, kind of on a daily time frame, it looks as though we've gotten this impulse to the downside and we've got this general kind of bearish flag formation over there. Okay, so on a 4-hour time frame, the major zone that I'll be working with is this zone drawn over here. Okay, let me extend that a little bit more. This zone, where we've seen key reversals around that zone. Provided the market breaks below and retests that zone, then I'm going to be taking my sell positions, because very easily this market can come and tap off this zone and then make its way up after that. Okay, to bring us to one of the highs that we have over here, for example, some of these highs, for the sell positions to kick in then. Provided that happens, I will be looking for sell positions at number 1, that zone over there. And number 2, this zone over here. These will be my potential sell positions if the market makes its way up. But a break and retest scenario of the market zone over there looks a lot better to me. So wait for a break and retest of that zone, then you can potentially execute some safe sell positions. Euro Australian dollar supply zone up here. So again, it's a similar story across the Australian dollar pairs. So we have a supply zone this time, where the market's looking to come and tap off that supply zone over there. A lot of major reversals happened in that zone previously when the market tapped off that zone over there, gave us a decline for over 1,000 pips. So wait for that zone to be tapped off again, wait for the market to climb up a little bit higher, give you some sort of a price action on 4-hour, 8-hour time frame, and then you can go ahead and take some sell positions based on that supply zone. However small, I do expect a rejection off of that zone. I don't think that we're going to break above it so impulsively with no sort of reaction. I do believe we will get a little decline, at least where we can write it down. Pound Canadian. Again, daily time frame, I'm working with kind of 2 major trend lines over here on a daily time frame. The trend lines are this one over here coming up. 1 touch, 2nd touch, 3rd touch, 4th touch, 5th touch, a lot of touches of this trend line. The second trend line is the one I have up here. 1 touch, 2nd touch, kind of 3rd touch around there. It's as though we've broken above it and we're coming back down to retest both of the trend lines at the same time. So wait for a rejection off of both of these trend lines around that zone over there. Wait for price action. This could be a very nice buy opportunity for GBPCAD. Pound New Zealand. I've been talking about this setup for some time now, so I do know that some of you guys actually managed to catch pound New Zealand somewhere up there and are still kind of holding your trades open. If you are not currently in this trade, you can wait for a break and retest of this trend line over here. The general idea behind it is that this kind of head and shoulder formation that we have over here on a weekly time frame as well. I was talking about that trend line coming down over here, where we got a fake breakout and we actually ended up closing, we actually ended up coming back within that trend line. So on a 4-hour time frame, simply what I'm expecting to happen for, let me get rid of all of these kind of extra stuff. What I expect to happen on a 4-hour time frame or daily time frame, whichever one you want to keep an eye on, I'm waiting for some sort of a break and retest of this trend line over here. Okay, wait for a simple break and retest scenario of the trend line, and you can go ahead and execute some sell positions for pound New Zealand. New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, another currency pair that we were looking at, kind of a break and retest of the trend line drawn over here. Never ended up getting that break and retest. So now it's looking to climb down a little bit more to tap off this kind of key zone over here, this key demand zone over here. That is a little bit of a journey to the downside, to be honest with you. So it might not get satisfied this week, but in general, at that daily zone, look for buy entries, look for potential reversal signals, price action, convergence, whatever it's going to give you, and look for buy entries around that zone. And there are a few kind of other currency pairs that I have my eyes on, but they're not giving me the best sort of analysis. There's a couple different scenarios, such as USDJPY, USDCHF, and gold. I do have my eyes on those currency pairs as well. However, they are not giving me that perfect analysis just yet, so I will be updating my Telegram on those currency pairs, updating my TradingView profile on those currency pairs later as well. But in general, those are kind of the major pairs that I have analyzed and the major weighted indices that I have analyzed. I would normally wait for London session, New York session to see how the market has settled over the weekend. As I said, we might have some gaps across the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar pairs. So wait for that to kind of be satisfied. Don't jump in the trades too early. Wait for the market to give you the opportunities. Make sure to join my Telegram channel as well, link in the description, to be able to receive updates on the pairs that I have analyzed. And if you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me on my social media, on my Instagram at PipsOfPersia. Let me know in the comments down below whether you agree, whether you disagree with the analysis. I would be happy to look at your analysis as well and have a discussion about whether you agree or disagree with my analysis. That would be great to learn. Have an amazing trading week. Make sure to stick to your trading plan. Make sure to stick to correct risk management, okay? And have a long-term mindset when it comes to this industry. Remember, you don't want to be the impatient person in this industry. The industry takes money from the impatient and hands it to the patient. So be one of the patient people, okay? Let's smash it. Let's have an amazing week and let's catch some pips.